Dear students, today we are going to start the next chapter of 6th class, that is chapter 7th, that is getting to know plants. What are the kinds of plants are there? We know the general structure of plant. Whatever we observe from our surroundings, we know that whatever is inside the soil, that part of the plant, that is called root. Similarly, outside the soil, that is the stem of the plant, and there are so many branches, you can see here, and on that branches there are many leaves, and sometime you have observed flower on the top of the plant, and side by side flower buds are there, and when flower it develop into a fruit, and in that fruit you can see some seeds also. So there are many parts of the plant if we are going to explain it. Basically, the general structure of the plant is common for all the categories of plants. Plants, they are categorized into three categories. One is herbs, then is shrubs, then are trees. Herbs, whose size is very small, whose height is very small. Many herbs we can see just they are of height of 1 foot or more than 1 feet, their height is there. Near about 1 to 2 feet, maybe it will be their height. Then comes the shrubs. Shrubs are in more height than herbs. And trees, the highest ever or longest ever plants. There are many trees. If we see it in a hilly area, the trees attain very good height. We cannot even see its height in a hilly area, but in our plain area the trees they attain the manageable height, they have good height. So basically if we differentiate them, herbs, shrubs and trees, you have seen a plant of tomato, that is herb, and you have observed its stem, it's green as well as it's soft. The tomato plant, its stem is green as well as soft. So it is the identity of herb, whose stem is green as well as soft, and which plant is very small in size. All that are categorized in the category of herbs. Then like shrub, you have seen lemon plant. That lemon plant is considered in the category of shrub because it is neither too small nor too long. It is in between the category of herbs and trees. Whether its stem is hard and its branches, they try to emerge from the bottom. Branches come to emerge from the bottom, not from the height. So that's why this category is considered as shrub. Branches emerge near the base of the plant. So then comes the third category of plants, that is called trees. The longest ever structure, longest ever creature of any kind of plant, that is tree. Its stem is broad as well as hard. You have seen the broadness of the stem of most of the trees. That is sometime they are very broad, as you have seen in banyan tree, bod da drakht. Its stem is hard as well, and its branches they emerge from the top of the stem, not from the base. If any branches are coming near the base, then that is shrub. But at the branches that are coming from the top of the broad and hard stem, that is called tree. And in the category of tree, you know, mango plant, banyan tree, so many other trees which attained a very good height. All are in same category. So now we can define herbs, shrubs and trees according to their stem as well, and according to the branches that are coming out from the stem. If they are near the base, they are called shrub. If they are from the top of the stem, they are called trees. So this is about herb, shrub and trees. Now get a knowledge about the fourth category along with herb, shrub and trees. The fourth category of plant that are creepers, that take the support of a tree to climb upward. Otherwise we have to give them support because they have very poor stem. Always the stem remain in a green and leaves also in green color. They have very weak stem, so they have to take support. So these are different from herbs, shrub and trees. So grapes is one of the creeper category, as well as many vegetables. They are in category of creepers. We know that, we can better know. In Punjabi we tell them vela. And now we are going to describe about the detailed structure of the plant and what are their functions. Now we are going to perform one activity so that we can better know the function of the stem. To know the proper function of stem, this activity we have to perform. Simply we can do this activity at home also using a blade. What we have to do? Firstly we are going to perform this activity. This is the second activity, both of them we are going to perform later. So for this you have to take one beaker and put almost half of the beaker, fill it with water, and then a few drops of red ink should be added in this water so that the coloration of the water will become red. Now we are using one herb here, the simplest herb you can use nearby area. You have seen many of the herbs that are very small in size, so you can use that. Even so by cutting its base, we should not we should cut it from its root part where the stem and root is joined together. And now pour that stem in this beaker and kept it there, and take few hours for this activity. And what will you observe? After few hours you will observe red spots on this white flower, as well as on these leaves you can see some of the red spots. Even if you see if you cut the section, a thin section, and observe it under microscope, you will able to see red spots there in the stem, in the cut section of the stem. So that indicate that water is transporting from the base to leaves or to flowers. So that gives us a function of a stem. That's one activity. The other activity, what we are doing here, cut a single stem from the center like this. We have to cut it from the center. After cutting, one part should be poured in this beaker and other part should be poured in second beaker. And fill both with water and adding red in one ink, adding red ink in one beaker and blue in another beaker, and let it stay for few hours. And what will we observe? In this white flower, we will observe red and blue both spots here, mixed spots. Similarly, in the leaves, we can observe mixed colored spots. But if we are taking a thin delicate section of this part, the stem, we will observe red from this part and blue from this part. So that indicate that water, what it may have any mineral, it may have any dye, it may have whatever it may have. Water can transport all the substances that get dissolved in it. So this gives us function of the stem, that stem transport water from the root of the plant to leaves of the plant. And this water contains so many minerals, and that minerals are necessary for the plant for its growth. So this is about the stem. So this game we played, it's you can perform this activity at home also. You can take 3 glasses instead of using these beakers, and you can easily take this stem from outside your home nearby, and cutting also from the center. You can perform this activity in 2 glasses. You should have red ink or blue ink at home or nearby. You can take it from anybody, and you can do this activity at home also, because we are at home due to lockdown. So now I am going forward to the next topic. Students, after knowing about the stem, now I am going to tell you about the structure of the leaves. Very important structure of the plant that can store a food in it, and that food is stored in the form of starch. And that activity you have done in the previous chapter, second chapter, regarding the starch. And that starch storehouse is leaf. Starch ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਮਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਉਹ ਪੱਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. So basically, if we see the structure of a leaf, so commonly leaf has one part that is connected with the stem, that is called petiole. This is connected with the stem and it is called petiole. And this same, it continue its journey inside the leaf, and it is called a midrib of a leaf. This is the swollen part of the leaf, and this whole swollen part, it is called lamina. And in this swollen part, along the midrib, there are so many veins, and the pattern of veins is very complex here in this kind of leaf. So now we are going to know about the pattern of veins in this, but before that you just have to draw all the pattern of veins on the paper. And how you can draw it? You simply need a leaf, any kind of leaf it may be, and you put it down and then place a paper on that and start rubbing like this. And after rubbing, you can get a pattern of that particular leaf, as you are able to see it. Here it is. So you can draw a clear pattern of leaf if you are getting leaf like people, like board, and sometime you can take some other leaves like a leaf of a grass or leaf of any other kind of plant you can use. So after seeing that pattern, the pattern of veins, that is divided into 2 categories, and that pattern of vein in leaves is called venation. It is divided into two categories. One is reticular venation and other is parallel venation. Reticulate mean jalidar. If you see this leaf, if it get dry, you can see in your school campus or in so many parks you visit, you can see there so many leaves you see at the land. They almost looking, they almost showing its veins only. All the green part that gets disappear. वो जाली वर्गा तो जड़ा पत्ता दिखता है. So you can see the pattern very clearly, and that venation pattern is reticular venation. And when the veins look parallel to each other, veins are very parallel to each other, the venation is called parallel venation. And one thing more I want to tell you, that reticular venation is present in most of the plants. You see many flowering plants. All the flowering plants, they have reticular venation. But if you see grass leaf, there is parallel venation. And so many other plants are there whose leaves are similar to grass, but they are broader and bigger in size than grass. So their venation is parallel. So this I told you about the leaf and its design. So you can draw that leaf on the paper, and simply you have to paste that pattern in your practical notebook also. It's very important. You can simply clarify about the that parallel venation and reticular venation. Now one thing more about the other leaf activity. What you have to do? You choose a branch on any of the plant and you try to wrap up a polythene on that. Like you have chosen any plant nearby, near to your home. What you have to do? Cover that part with polythene and tie up here and keep it for few hours. After few hours, what will you observe? You will observe a small water drops inside the polythene. And what are these small drops? And from where they came? Because when we tied a polythene here, there was not any water drop inside the polythene. But now from where it came? So regarding that, I want to tell you that what happened, that roots, they help to absorb plant from the soil, and this water reaches to every branch of the stem, and every branch of the stem, it may have so many leaves. You have seen in that first activity that stem transport water from root to leaves, and when food is prepared in all these leaves, then the extra water, it cannot go back to root. This extra water comes out of the leaf in the form of vapor, jal vasham, gassy avastha vich. So these vapors, when it comes out, so you can see I have tied a polythene here. No space is there for all the water vapors to go outside. These vapor attached with the inner surface of the polythene, and when that water vapors cool down, they convert into water drops, and these are that drops which are visualized to us inside the polythene, and this process is called transpiration. What is this process called? Transpiration. So this transpiration takes place only after the process of photosynthesis in plant, and photosynthesis help the plants to manufacture food, and that food is only manufactured with the help of water taken through the roots, as well as from the leaves. Plant take carbon dioxide, from air it takes sunlight, and the green colored leaf, due to chlorophyll, that chlorophyll absorb the sunlight, and by all these four raw materials food is prepared in the leaves, and that food gets stored in the leaves in the form of starch. So now going to perform another activity here, and for that activity what we needed? We need one green leaf, and similarly for that activity we need ethanol, or we can say alcohol. For that activity we need iodine solution. We need one beaker, we need one test tube, we need spirit lamp. What we have to do for that activity? First of all, we have to take one leaf which is maybe said very green in color, very small in size. Take that, it will be more suitable. What we have to do? We have to take one test tube, and in that test tube we have to put some alcohol and submerge that leaf inside the alcohol. Now the next step, take one beaker and put that test tube in the beaker containing water. Here it is water. And now put it on a stand, and there should be spirit lamp here. Get it heated for some time. Why we cannot directly heat the alcohol on the spirit lamp? Because alcohol can catches fire very easily on a very low temperature of this fire. So we have to put this alcohol in a beaker that contain water, and when water start heating, the heat of the water helps to increase the temperature of the alcohol. Now what will happen? Here the leaf loses its green color, and that green color that becomes solved in this alcohol, and this alcohol becomes green colored. Now what we have to do? We have to take one watch glass, or simply on the lower surface we have to put that leaf there. That is not green in color. Remember, that should not be green in color. If it is green in color, it cannot tolerate the reaction of iodine solution. Now what we have to do? We have to put few drops of iodine on this iodine solution, very dark colored solution, and due to that iodine, what will happen on this leaf? Violet or black colored spot came to be appear on the leaf. And why that spots appearing on the leaf? That is due to presence of starch in the leaf. Due to presence of starch. If chlorophyll remained on the leaf, that color cannot be appeared, because chlorophyll create hindrance for the iodine to detect the starch. One thing more we can do, uh, this activity we can perform for other food items also. That is for test of the starch, and in the previous chapter we did the starch test on potato. We can perform the same activity on rice. So these are some of the activities related with starch. So here we have seen that food is stored in the leaf in the form of starch, and that food remain stored in the leaf. So by this we got the knowledge that by transpiration stem got water from the soil and transported it to the leaves, and in the leaves food gets stored in the form of starch, and that starch, that test we did here. So now we are going to the next part, that is root. So now we are getting to know about the most important part of the plant, that is root. And to know about the root, first of all we have to see what kind of roots are there. Is the root in all the plants, the category of the root, that is same or that is different? And to perform that, the first ever activity we have to do, take any one, take any two herbs near your house, and take and put them into different pots. So in that pot, how you have to put it, that cut the root part of one of the herb, and in another case remain this herb along with its root. Next day you have to observe it. What do you observe? That the plant without a root, it died, but the plant which was with root, it remained standing same. So that tells us that how roots support the plant to stand. Not only to stand the plant, as well as root not only provides support to the plant, it also provides so many water and minerals to the stem and leaves that help to manufacture food in the leaves. So this is the one activity. Another activity we have to do, we have to take some pieces of the gram and some pieces of the maize, and we have to take two dishes and put some cotton in both the dishes, and add 3 to 4 seeds of gram as well as maize in that dishes simultaneously, but cover them with the cotton that is present in the bowls, and kept on wetting that cotton randomly after few times. So see what will happen after a week. You will observe after a week there develop this like structure in gram as well as in maize. Means both the seeds germinate, but the category of root, that is bit different in both the cases. So category of root in the gram, that root is swollen as well as it have some similar like branches, but in the maize the root is like some of the fibers. So you can differentiate the two categories of root here. So the two categories of root are, one is taproot, which was observed in gram, and other is fibrous root, which was observed in maize. And from here we can also differentiate. If gram have root like this, what kind of venation, leaf venation it should have. So you will amazed to know that taproot is present in that plant whose leaves showing reticulate venation, but fibrous roots are present in that plants whose leaves have parallel venation. So this is also the difference between, but this category of these plants is called, this is called dicotyledonous, and this is monocotyledon. So you can simply see this in peas as well as in beans, but in the case of maize you can see one that swollen part of that seed. So this is how we can differentiate them also. So now I am telling you about the next part of the plant that have great importance, that is flower. Initial structure of the flower is a flower bud that develop the stem part along with many branches near the leaves on the plant they develop. And flower contain so many structures here. This part of the flower that is connected with the stem or branch, and here the green leaf like structures at the base of the flower, they are called sepal, and sepal provide protection to the flower. Similarly, next to that more swollen part, that are some colored structures in this flower, they are called the petals. And petals also have great importance because petals contain nectar, and that nectar that is absorbed by honeybees, and they store it in their respective places. The two important structures of the flower that help to continue the race of the plant, they are the male reproductive system and female reproductive system. This part, the central part, if you are able to visible here, this structure is its female reproductive part, that is called pistil. And pistil, its top, this part is called stigma, and the long tube followed by stigma, that is called style. And next to style, the swollen part in the center of the flower, that is called its ovary, and ovary contain so many ovules in the center, and these ovules contain female gametes, that help in sexual reproduction in plants. So this is the female reproductive part present in the flower. Now the male reproductive part is also present in the flower, and this male reproductive part, it is called stamen. One is this and one is this, and these stamen kept on surrounding this pistil. Pistil is one in the flower, but these stamens are so many around the pistil. And now detailed structure of the stamen. This is this branch which is connected with the center of the flower. This is called filament, and the filament is followed by the tip portion of this stamen, that is called anther. And this anther contains so many pollen grains. If you want to see the detailed structure of the anther, if we cut it from the center, what we will observe, we will observe a structure like this, and inside this there are so many pollen grains, and these pollen grains contain male gametes. What they contain? Male gametes, and fusion of these male gametes and the female gamete and ovule, that gives rise to a seed. And these pollen grains, they have to reach the upper portion of the stigma so that the process of sexual reproduction can takes place in the plants. Now I am telling you one more thing. The number of sepals and number of petals, they may be same in a flower or they may be different. Petals may be connected to each other, or they may be free. Similar the case of the sepal. And these structures vary in a variety of flowers, as we studied earlier on about the seed, about the leaves. Similarly, flowers also differentiate in size, in structure, and sometimes the flower is like a bell, and this bell like flower is present in pea. You have seen the violet color or white colored flower in the case of pea. So there is variety in the cases of flower, in the size of in the shape of the flower also. So this is all about the flower. You noticed the parts of the flower which it contain, that you got noticed, and this is very important chapter, and so many things you learned in this chapter, and I hope you understand it better. Thank you.